If we determine how we feel about ourselves dependent on how other people see us and feel about us, we will never have a stable, secure confidence level. It will go up and down depending on how our external people world is looking like. But if we can develop deep inner confidence within ourselves, we will every single day walk into the world, our days, our life, with this inner knowing that we are good enough.
Hi, my name is Pernilla, and this is my Challenge Your Norm podcast. I'm absolutely obsessed with anything related to personal development, and well, to grow, we gotta challenge our norm. And so on this podcast, we chat about life and how we can challenge our normal way of living it to make it greater than we could have ever imagined. Just one little belief, habit, bold move, and perspective at a time.
Hello, my beautiful friend, and welcome back to another episode here on my Challenge Your Norm podcast, where today we're going to be talking about confidence. And the reason I want to talk about confidence is because I was asking myself, what am I feeling inspired to post today as a reel and short and TikTok? And the thing that came to my mind was this topic of confidence, because I really used to believe that confidence came down to how other people saw me and appearing and coming across as perfect as I possibly could. And that meant also that I would be really down on myself if I didn't come across to other people in this perfect image visual that I wanted to appear as. And as I'm getting older and doing more self-development, I'm just realizing more and more how that has nothing to do with true confidence. And what does have something to do for me with true confidence that is directly aligned with my inner happiness, peace, and joy has to do with how I feel about myself. And the less I care about what other people think of me, how other people see me, the more happy and truly confident do I feel within. And there's three things that I want to talk about today. And before I do that, I want to say, as a little side note, because that is actually also a part of becoming confident, I wasn't supposed to record a podcast episode today, this morning, but I've been telling myself or asking myself, how can I show up as my best self? And a part of that is creating these podcast episodes. The thing is, though, I've been making it very hard on myself. I have been thinking that every time I create a podcast episode, it has to be this incredibly big thing that has to be fully thought out. And that has actually held me back from creating these podcast episodes for a long time because I've been very busy focusing on other things. And because of that, I have chosen for these podcast episodes to be put on the shelf for a little bit so that I can focus on doing these other things in my life to the best of my ability. But what I realized was that creating these podcast episodes bring me a lot of joy. It brings me a lot of joy knowing that hopefully some of these thoughts that I have inside of my head that I'm reflecting upon, that if other people listen to those, that it can bring joy or just some sort of perspective to their day, to bring a little bit more motivation or happiness to their day. And so creating these podcast episodes helped me make me feel better. And so I've been asking myself, how can I make it so it just becomes a part of my life? So I don't put all this crazy pressure on myself for it to be perfect. And that is that when I get the intuition, the instinct, oh, I could make a podcast episode on this, instead of writing down, okay, then I need a list of things to make sure that it is well rounded and fully thought through. How can I just share whatever's on my mind, as imperfect as it is, when I get the intuition, instinct to? Yes, maybe putting this whole thing together and uploading it, editing it, whatever, today will take me back 30, 40 minutes from the rest of my to-do list. But if I want to be the kind of person that puts out podcast episodes that are motivating, helping people, then I have to prioritize that, right? And so that's something I'm trying right now. I'm not saying that it was a mistake to take a break, because I think I needed it. I think I needed to focus on these other areas of my life and these other areas of my work. for a little bit and take a break from these podcast episodes, but it just is very cool that you can ask yourself, this thing that I actually deep down want to be doing, how can I make it easier on myself? How can I do it in a way that just feels aligned, that feels easy? Just wanted to share that. And that actually does lead us into the first point that I want to talk about when it comes to confidence, because I actually looked up what is the definition of confidence right before I hit record, because I was curious. And Google says confidence means feeling sure of yourself and your abilities, not in an arrogant way, but in a realistic, secure way. Confidence isn't about feeling superior to others. It's a quiet inner knowledge that you're capable. And I think Google is pretty spot on, because if we determine how we feel about ourselves dependent on how other people see us and feel about us, we will never have a stable, secure confidence level. It will go up and down depending on how our external people world is looking like. But if we can develop a deep inner confidence, a confidence within ourselves, we will that it will be stable. We will every single day walk into the world, our days, our life, with this inner knowing that we are good enough. And the question is, how can we develop that within ourselves? And where I want to start is asking you, as I ask myself, how do you feel about yourself when you put your head on the pillow at night? Do you feel proud of yourself? Or are there things that you could do and change within your life today that would make you feel good about yourself, better about yourself? It's a small incremental step-by-step process building confidence, like inner deep confidence and belief in yourself. So I would love for you to maybe even hit pause and reflect on this. Like, how do you actually feel about yourself when you put your head on the pillow at night? Or just like you, when you're by yourself with your own thoughts, how do you feel about yourself? And if you don't feel good about yourself, I would love for you to grab a journal whenever you have the time, or just reflect on what are tiny changes, tiny things that you could do in your life right now, today, to start feeling better about yourself. What are some things that you could do right now that would change your perspective of yourself? Maybe ask yourself what something that you're looking up to that someone else does that, wow, if you were to do that action today, that would be freaking cool. Because I really believe that it's those small little steps that are outside of our norm, hence Challenge Your Norm podcast, that slowly start building our self belief, our self confidence. I felt like the most spark of confidence I have ever achieved growth wise in a short amount of time was when I got very committed and determined to get in badass shape. Because every day, seeing myself showing up at the gym when I did not feel like it, every day, especially sticking to the diet that I had planned for myself, which was the hardest of it all. Those little daily habits, rituals, commitments that I stuck to when I decided that I wanted to get in badass shape was the most confidence building process I've ever gone through. But also, that led me to when I felt insecure about starting to post on Instagram, because I knew, thought, believed that I was going to get judged hard, big time, from the people that knew me. I was thinking they would think, who does she think she is? But that little increase in my confidence from having gotten in shape, I utilize that. I use that to then start posting on Instagram, regardless of my fear of judgment. And that led me to YouTube and to showing up on these podcasts. And slowly, little by little, every single bit of challenge of showing up as someone I wanted to be, as someone that would feel really good about herself, putting her head on the pillow at night, the more confidence I built. And the more confidence you build within yourself, the more you dare take action on the things that you deep down want in life. And the more we dare to take action on the things that we deep down want in life, the more good we feel about ourselves, which means we spread more good and then we create more good. So, really, the confidence we have within is the essence to all good in our life. So, it's really a topic that we should take serious, isn't it? So, I really want to go back to this question of what is something that you can do right now in your life to feel a little bit better about yourself when you put your head on the pillow at night? And then commit. Maybe you need to find an accountability partner. Maybe your own commitment is enough. Maybe you need to find a really strong why as to why it's so important for you to do this thing for yourself and for your life and for the people that are around you, for the impact you want to make in the world, and for the dreams that you have that you know potentially could happen if you actually start daring to take these action steps, challenging your norm in this way. Confidence, true confidence, I'm going to say it again, is not about how other people see you, what other people believe about you. It is about what you believe about yourself, how you feel about yourself. That is the thing that matters. Once you feel good about yourself, oh, the world is about to explode on you in the best possible way. It is the most incredible thing. And I know you already know this. I'm just talking to the part of you that needs a little reminder for this week as you go about your week and to really feel good about yourself, to show up as your best version, which is the previous episode I created was about showing up as your best self. But this kind of ties into that. I'm in this pep talk mood where we just motivate each other and get inspired because it's it's so important. I've started reading a little bit again, as in like I stopped for a while and now I'm getting back into it. And just the few days that I've gotten back into it, it's just so incredible what it does to your mind and your mood and your then actions when you do that. So powerful. I told you I had three different things I wanted to talk about. The second thing is something that has been scientifically proven when it comes to building confidence, and that is looking good. And that's something I never really invested in, I cared about. Like, I would show up on my YouTube channel and to the gym and everywhere I went, really in sweats, not like leftover makeup from yesterday, just not caring. And this year, actually, um, I've done it on and off, but this year specifically, I decided, okay, I look like a bum sometimes when I'm working at home, as in like all day sweatpants, no makeup, as in leftover makeup from yesterday. And I am this year gonna, when I walk into the gym, I want to feel confident. I want to show up looking good because I had done it a few times and I could feel how it affected my workouts. You know, when you show up looking good, it does affect you. And it's scientifically proven that when you look good, you show up in a different way. And so I don't know if you needed this little reminder to maybe try making a little bit of an effort into your clothes or your makeup or whatever it is that makes you feel confidence when you show up to an event, to the gym, to work every single day, or maybe even just walking around at home. Could you do something that's like, okay, I feel good when I just put on a little lipstick before I record a podcast episode, which is literally what I just did. I was like, let me put on some lipstick. I had my hair up and I just took it down and I put on some lipstick, and it made me feel like, okay, now I'm ready for a podcast episode, even though it's not even 7 a.m. in the morning. But it just made me feel like, okay, now I feel a little bit more confident. Now I'm ready to show up as my best version of myself in this podcast episode. And I really, yeah, I really didn't believe in this till I started applying it to my life. So maybe that was the little thing you needed to hear today to show up looking good and thereby feeling more confident. And the third thing that I want to just note when it comes to building confidence, that is, I feel very confident when I feel like I have served someone else, when I feel like I have shown up and helped someone out with the tiniest little thing. It makes me feel really good about myself. I feel like I'm actually a good human. And that's a really great feeling. So if you are just not feeling confident right now, maybe your first move is to ask yourself, who is someone that I could help today? Who is someone I can call? Who is someone I could go to their house and help them with something that maybe they need? Or how can I share a story on social media that possibly could be useful, helpful to someone else? How can I show up for someone else? Because I think immediately, once you have felt that you have helped someone, you're going to feel better about yourself. And going back to this thing of how it's the tiny little habits, little things that build up to us feeling really good within ourselves. And it's a nonstop, continuous journey process. We have to do it daily to build confidence. And obviously, we're going to have off days. There's nothing wrong with that. But if we just remind ourselves that the key to everything good in life is how we feel about ourselves, maybe we're willing to challenge our norm daily and do these little acts that help us every day build this feeling of feeling good about ourselves, this inner true confidence. So that is my challenge to you today, to go out there and do something that is going to spark that inner feeling of proudness, good feeling within about yourself. And if you want to help me out a little bit, I would just so appreciate if you would share this with someone who you think could find it useful. I would love for my podcast to reach more people. Write a review. That also helps me like crazy reach more people. So if you haven't done that yet, you have no idea what that would mean to me. You can check out all my programs if you want some self-development in the description. And as always, remember that in order for you to grow, you have to challenge your norm.